Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining. I'm Jill Byler, Psychic Medium, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about signs and symbols from the other side. A lot of you know that my mother passed last year of April of 2022, and my mom was never a fan of letting my poor sister drive her car. No matter what my sister did, my mom never ever wanted my sister to touch her car. She could come up with every imaginable excuse as to why my sister wasn't qualified to drive her car, even though she was a grown woman. Well, on the way back to the airport, see, my sister flew in for my mom's funeral, and then we had to take my sister back to Chicago O'Hare. And I was out at a gas station in a small town called Utica, Illinois, getting gas, and I was filling up the car, and my poor sister yelled out, "Hey, there's a huge storm blowing in. I think I'm going to drive all the way to the airport today." I says, "I don't think so. I don't think Mom would want you driving her car." She was all adamant about, "Don't let Julie get in the car. Don't let Julie touch the car. Don't let Julie go near the car." And anyway, my sister was so adamant about driving this car. She goes, "I'm driving the car. When you finish filling up the gas tank and get her on the other side." I go, "I don't think so." And I went to open the door when I got done filling the gas tank, and my cell phone was ringing. And I said, "Hey, get the cell phone for me." And the phone kept ringing and ringing. And I was like, "Julie, get the phone. It may be important. It could be for business." So she goes to get to the phone, and I see this look on her face like, and I go, "Well, who is it?" And she goes, "It's for you." And I look at it, and it says, "Mom." And I look at it, it's like, "Mom." We're just kind of staring at the phone, and the phone is ringing, and it says, "Mom is calling." So I answer the phone, and the phone goes dead. I look at it again, and I go back to the recent calls, and it says, "Mom." And I look at my sister and I go, Julie, Mom just called." She says, "There's no way that you're going to be driving Mom's car back to the airport." So anyway, that clearly was a sign from my mother that my sister was not supposed to be driving the car. And then another clear sign that I actually had too as well from my mother about a week after my mother passed is my father was in an Alzheimer's home in a place in Princeton, Illinois called Country Comfort Retirement. And I went to go visit my father. And at that point, my father was in what I call stage 4. I came up with my own levels of Alzheimer's for anybody who has Alzheimer's patients, the different stages and what to expect. So we were in stage 4 in the beginning is what I would call it. Uh, and my father actually recently passed in December 2nd of 2022, if you're trying to get an idea of my stages. But anyway, so I was with my father that day, and they said he's having a really good day. He's really alert. So when I got ready to leave, my father grabbed my wrist, looked at me straight in the face, and had a full sentence. And he said, clear as day, "Are you coming back tomorrow?" And he kept looking up, and he kept looking up, and he was really intense, and I could see he was trying to see something. I could feel something in the room, but I couldn't quite see. But I had this feeling that it was my mother of all things, because I could kind of smell her cologne and I could kind of feel her and sense her, but I couldn't actually see her. And 2 seconds later, my phone rang and it said, "Mom's calling." And I just looked at the phone, cracked up laughing, and I said, "Yes, Dad, Mom and I will be back here same time tomorrow to see you." And then he goes, and then he kind of went back into his old regular state where, if you're familiar with anybody with Alzheimer's, they're sort of like the in between where they're kind of in it and kind of out of it. And then, my dad went back to being kind of out of it. But for a moment there, he had full clarity, snapped back into total reality. And was like, "Are you coming back tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Yes, Mom and I are coming back tomorrow." So that was definitely a sign that my mom wanted me to know at that point in time that she was right there with me in that room with my father, because I was having a little bit of conversations with my father and stuff. So anyway, that's a fun little story for you guys, and I will catch you on my next video.